So it does appear that we have some breaking news here. Andrew Tate, who is a guy who is absolutely blown up into one of the biggest influencers currently. He has been absolutely raiding my home recommended feed. Let me know how your experience has been. I don't watch, for context, I don't watch any alpha male or any of the red pill content, but somehow he has managed to penetrate my home feed recommended. And I don't know how, but that just goes to show you just how massive this guy has become. But it looks like he's getting the Trump treatment and he's getting wiped out from everywhere. So he just got banned from YouTube, but he has already been banned on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So we're going to read into this to see what the grounds for banning him are. Obviously, he's a raging misogynist, sexist, and saying really, really bad stuff, dangerous stuff. But let's try to get into maybe some of the more details about this. So it says Andrew Tate banned from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. The bans follow an online campaign to deplatform Tate, whose influence on his primarily young audience has become a growing concern among parents and teachers. Andrew Tate, a self-described success coach who has been criticized for what many see as misogynistic advice, has been banned from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. A spokesperson for Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, confirmed to NBC News on Friday that the company removed Tate's official accounts from the social media platforms for violating the company's policies on dangerous organizations and individuals. The spokesperson also confirmed that the ban is permanent. Before the ban, Tate had 4.7 million followers on Instagram. That's a lot of fucking followers, especially for like a random guy like this. Like Andrew Tate really is like a random guy that just blew up now. It's not like he's some like well-established celebrity like a Rock or something, or like The Rock or something like that. He just recently really blew up. But you know, that's the thing about life, man. Anytime you see something like go up way too fast, almost 99% of the time it comes down way too fast. So it's like if you go up really quick in life, you're going to come down really quick in life too. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like that law is applying here. It says a spokesperson for TikTok said on Monday that following an investigation by the platform, an account belonging to Tate has been permanently banned. TikTok is using software to identify and remove re-uploads of videos found to violate its community guidelines, spokesperson said, as well as flagging certain content so it won't be recommended to users as For You feeds. So they're controlling the algorithm not to push his content, and they're also going to actually remove re-uploads. See, if these platforms also remove re-uploads, that's going to be crazy, because now not only are you saying that Andrew Tate himself can't upload videos of himself, you're also saying now the third parties that upload re-uploads are also going to be taken down. That's a really crazy penalty. That's like, wow, like you're really getting shunned from society. Quote, misogyny is a hateful ideology is not tolerated on TikTok, the TikTok spokesperson said. Our investigation into this content is ongoing as we continue to remove violative accounts and videos and pursue measures to strengthen our enforcement, including our detection models against this type of content. So pretty much, that's what they all say. I'm not going to run through, I guess, each one. I shouldn't have even gone that deep into their statements. But he's trying to claim that he's being taken out of context. He's trying to say that he's just all about making better people or whatever. Says Tate has been active in far-right circles for years, but he began gaining followers and mainstream attention after appearing on multiple podcasts and Twitch streams. He's continued to go viral in large part due to his extreme statements, comparing women to property, graphically describing how he would assault a woman for accusing him of cheating, and claiming that men would rather date 18 and 19-year-olds over women in their mid-20s because the former have sex with fewer men. So that last part, I don't really like including this in there because this is just not something that I think you can try to use it to build like a character statement of like, hey, this guy's a sexist piece of shit, but it's just not something that I would believe that he's that's a bannable offense. Now the other stuff is a bannable offense that he said, right? And that he said. This one, I don't like that they're including this one in there. Now, what originally when I had seen this, I was like, man, like, I was originally very skeptical because I was like, dude, like, what did he say to deserve getting, banned off the platform? For me personally, I believe that free speech is a really, really extreme value that we need to really uphold, because being able to have freedom of expression is a really vital human right, and it also allows us to challenge structures that are attacking minorities, and allows us to challenge these ideas and these kinds of things. And also, if you guys know anything about American history, I mean, quashing free speech has always meant that it was always lefties that were going to get their free speech taken away, not right wingers. So that's obviously not a good thing for you if you're a lefty either. But Anyways, so here what I was kind of doing was trying to apply a strict scrutiny standard like is done in judicial review when it applies to like a really important constitutional right. So this is nothing to do with the constitutional right. First Amendment does not apply to private businesses. These are private businesses. They're free to do whatever they want. So at this point, you're not talking about anything legal. What you're talking about is the idea of free speech. That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about anything legal. But the philosophical idea of applying a strict scrutiny standard and then questioning whether or not the amount of evidence reaches the level needed to assert a ban, I think is very valuable here. And so what I think these platforms are doing is they have to balance the two interests of one, freedom of speech, a very, very important vital human interest, and two, interest of society in protecting marginalized or minority groups. So women being a marginalized group, women are taken advantage of at every level of society, whether it be the house, whether it be workplace, wherever it is. When men hold all the power. I think I had read somewhere that like there are more CEOs named John than there are women CEOs, so that hopefully paints a good picture in your mind. But you have to be able to do both of these things because it causes so much, certain conduct and comments cause so much damage to humans. How many women are going to be victims of misogyny or all the horrible things that come with it and the abuse as a result of this content? And so you have to balance the interests, right? So you have to question whether or not that damage is so much, and is there enough evidence of what Andrew Tate has done to actually get him to be rid of the platform. And based on all of the things that he has done, I think that he meets that. Now, for example, right, if you were to have told me that he was saying that, his dumb comment about how, he would never date a woman over 25, you're essentially like, honestly, you're at that point, if you're only going to date women that are barely legal, you're in spirit a pedophile. In spirit. You're not, de jure, you're not a pedophile because they're not underage. But if you're only dating women that are barely over age, and then as soon as their brains fully develop into having their prefrontal cortex fully developed to being able to control their urges and make their decisions properly, you're essentially a pedophile in spirit. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And obviously, he just wants to be able to manipulate essentially what are barely legal children who don't have prefrontal cortexes developed, because he knows that older women won't take his bullshit and we'll be able to challenge him. So he needs to take advantage of women who are not developed yet. So, but that kind of thing, right? That's not enough for me to be like, oh, you should deserve a ban. And so this is the issue too, right? Like, let's say, for example, I were to say that men are stronger than women on average. That's factually true. Now, I'm saying that as a positive statement, not a normative one. I'm not saying that means that men are better than women. Not at all. That would be sexist. Now, the statement I made isn't sexist, but if I were to say men are better than women because women are weak or women are weak or something like that, that would be sexist. But let's hypothetically say, right, I were to say men are stronger than women on average. Men are stronger than, forget average, so I may say men are stronger than women. Can I get banned from these platforms for misogynistic policies? So that's my worry as to where we get in terms of this. So what we need to do is, it's okay to ban people like this. I'm in favor of banning Andrew Tate. But the problem with this becomes an issue of we need to really make sure that we're cautious in our approach. We need to be very, very cautious in who we determine bans given out to. So as long as we are really applying a strict scrutiny standard, we need to apply the highest standard of review that requires the absolute most evidence against you, and you have to meet that extreme evidence bar in order to be banned, it's fine. But if we just start willy-nilly banning people, that's fucked up, because now you're eating into way too much of free speech, and now you're going too far into the interest of protecting minority peoples, and you're sacrificing too much of free speech. So what I think also, I actually had pulled up some, a few charts here that I had, or a chart here that I had created, but pretty much I had just done like a regular, this is kind of for another video low-key, and so I'll pull it up here though. So what I had done here is, here you can see this is just like a, here you can see just like a graph that I have. It's not pulling up right now. It's not good. So it is about just talking about this issue that seems to exist as it pertains specifically to, you can see the this clear demand that exists as it pertains to this misogynistic content, which is what this is. Right here we have this here. This right here is, I've just created essentially a supply-demand graph that exists for, that you just use in economics, right? So this is our service, right? The service or good that we're looking for, however you want to classify it, is red pill / alpha male content, specific, it's sexist and misogynistic content, right? So we have our price on the y-axis and quantity on the x-axis. Not that it really matters. We have our supply and demand curve. Now the problem is here, right? So what you're trying to do here when you ban Andrew Tate, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to down the supply. You're trying to attack the supply. You're trying to make the supply go over here. You're trying to get it to go left, okay? So that there's less quantity for people to watch. But is attacking the supply the right strategy? And the answer is no, because the thing is, there's clearly a static amount of demand that exists where there's so much demand for this that the supply will always be there. So whether it's Kevin Samuels or is Jordan Peterson, which Jordan Peterson, I don't know if I want to lump in with these crazies because this is a totally different beast. And this guy's way fucking worse than Kevin Samuels ever even close to came. So whether it be Kevin Samuels or this dude or whatever dude wants to talk about how women are this or that or whatever, and men have it so bad, and oh my god, you're gonna have a lot of these people, and so as long as the demand exists, supply will find its way to exist. Now let's hypodermically, shout out to Jazz, say that the demand is to disappear or is to lessen. What happens to supply for that content in that scenario? Well, the supply disappears, because if there's no demand for red pill alpha male content, then there will be no supply for that content. Now the big question we have is, how the hell do we get rid of the demand for this content? How do we get rid of sexism and misogyny that is so pervasive, that a dude who is so blatantly sexist and misogynistic, and by the way has been raided in his house in Romania for on suspected charges of like literal human trafficking, and got banned on Twitter in 2017 because he said that women bear some responsibility for getting sexually assaulted, which is fucking insane. So how do you get rid of that demand for this kind of content? And so once you get rid of the demand for this, once you get rid of once you get rid of the demand for these, once you get rid of the demands for this specific thing, once you get rid of the demand for this specific good, at that point, then the supply will go away. Then you don't need to ban Andrew Tate, because there are no Andrew Tates to ban. There are no Andrew Tates in existence anymore. So that's what we want to gun for. Now, in the comments, you tell me, how do we solve this such deep, pervasive issue of misogyny so as to make it so that there are no Andrew Tates in the first place? Because Andrew Tate is only able to get big because there are people who want to listen to him spew misogynistic things. So the answer is to get rid of the misogyny, not to get rid of Andrew Tate, because getting rid of Andrew Tate just means that there will be another Andrew Tate somewhere else, and then there will be another one, another one, another one. But if you get rid of the demand for Andrew Tate, then there will never be any more Andrew Tates ever. So let me know down below. Curious to hear your thoughts.